Hello and welcome back to our Breaking the Change podcast. Do we have a wonderful guest tonight? I think y'all are really going to enjoy my friend, Miss Yvonne Ryba Cones, and we're delighted to have you, Miss Cones.
Thank you.
And, I like to always start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Let's go way back.
Oh, boy.
I understand that you was born in England.
Absolutely.
During the World War II.
Yes. Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that time.
Well, it was kind of exciting, I suppose, although I don't remember it. I was born during an air raid. My father worked at the steelworks. And, of course, the steelworks were a prime target for air raids because he was working on, things for ships and so on during the war. And I suppose the sirens going off and then bombs dropping made my mother, have me earlier. I wasn't that early, but I think I came a little bit early. And then, strangely enough, I was born November the 6th, 1941. And 1 month later and one day was the day that the Japanese came across Pearl Harbor and America, the US, entered the war. Wow. So it was a very climatic year, ended that way. And then after the war, we had rationing. And I remember I gave a talk here in Cold Spring to the Women's League about what it was like to have rationing. And one of the things was, we didn't see fruit that had been exported from, other countries to England, like oranges and so on. Wow. And I was 6 years old before I saw an orange.
Isn't that crazy?
And I had the measles. And I was in bed. My mother came upstairs with this orange thing in her hand. And she stuck it under my nose and she said, "Smell this." And I said, "What is it?" And she said, "It's an orange." And I'd never heard of it.
Wow.
And next door had 2 oranges on her ration book. She could get 2 oranges. Knowing I was sick, she gave my mother 1. And she cut it into 4 for our family, my sister as well. And I had a quarter of an orange for the first time.
Isn't that crazy?
It was really the first time I remember something like that. But rationing went on for quite a long time during the 50s, and everything was short. We would be allowed like 3 ounces of meat per person a week, if you could get it. So many eggs, all that kind of thing. So I grew up.
That we take for granted.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, that's.
So that was normal. That was normal. When I was about 3.5, before my sister was born, I was walking with my mum up the street towards our house when the sirens went off. We're still in the war at this point. And I remember coming to, as it were, how suddenly you have this, what's happening kind of feeling. And she had me by the hand and she said, "Come on, we've got to hurry." And I said, "What is it?" She wouldn't tell me what it was. She just said, "We've got to get home." Well, fortunately, we were close. And we had an air raid shelter in our backyard, which I hated. It was no windows, go in there. It was very heavy brick so that anything happening.
So it was underground?
No, it was on top of the paved yard. Oh, wow. And but it was very, very staunch. It would have taken the house falling on it. I don't know if it would have taken a direct hit, but hopefully that never happened anyway. So that was kind of memories of, being a little kid. And then I grew up and went to school and did all those things. And
so how was your high school?
High school was good.
You went through all of that?
Yeah, you had to pass an exam to go to what was called a grammar school. From a grammar school, you would stay in school till you were 18 and then go to college or university. If you didn't pass your 11 plus, which is what the exam was called, you went to secondary school and you could leave at 16 and go on and do whatever it is you want to do, which vocational school, whatever, or just get a job. And my sister did leave at 16 because she didn't pass her 11 plus, but she went and worked in a pet shop.
Oh, wow.
And then from there, she grew into a different job, a better job. She worked for a photographer and so on, and had a very productive life.
So how many siblings did you have?
Just one, a sister.
One?
Yeah.
Sister. And is she still in England now?
No, she lives in Texas. She lives in Waxahachie.
Oh,
yes.
I have some friends that live in Waxahachie.
Yeah.
Well, I've put together some questions, and I'm just going to kind of go down the line.
Okay.
And so I understand that you graduated from Durham University.
Yes.
And I just wanted to show you this.
Oh, you've got a picture.
Does this bring back some memories or what?
Oh, yes.
And so I just want to show this. It looks like a castle.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at this. I just when I seen it, I went, this had to be
Yes.
pretty intriguing to.
I've been in Castle. Castle had its own university. It wasn't very big, as you can see, as a
Yeah.
university.
Yeah.
But it was. We used to have dances there as well. That was really something.
Yeah.
And it was right beside the cathedral. And the cathedral, which I don't know if you've got it on this picture.
It looks just like a maze of a castle.
Yes, it does.
Beautiful.
Yes. This is across the river. The cathedral is over 1,000 years old. It took 40 years for it to be completed.
Wow.
It's a beautiful Norman construction cathedral, and it has one of those lion heads door knockers on the huge doors.
Oh, yeah. I understand.
And that was if you were trying to escape the baron who owned the county at that point. This is a long time, 1,000 years or 800, something like that. If he was after you and you managed to get and hold the knocker on the door, you were safe. They would take you in for 30 days, the monks who lived in the cathedral, and then spirit you away somewhere.
Wow.
You could claim that church would help you. And if you didn't get there, then you would be routed off and he would deal with you, which often meant being executed. So that was part of the history of it. It's a beautiful cathedral, and we've had many our reunions there from our colleges, from the university. And it's built on a hill with the river going round it in a horseshoe, which was like a moat almost. And we were at one point at war with the Scots. You wouldn't believe this, but the Scots came and invaded the north of England.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunately for them, they got defeated and they were imprisoned in the cathedral. And it was freezing cold. It's not a warm place.
Wow.
And they burnt every piece of wood they could find over the winter months until they were ransomed by their family. That's what was going to happen. The family could buy them back to Scotland. The only thing they didn't burn was the clock, which had thistles carved into it. And of course, the thistle is a Scottish emblem, so they didn't burn that. But it's still there. That clock is still there.
This is just, things that you read in storybooks.
Yeah.
And to meet somebody who's really lived that is pretty intriguing. My mom's the same age as you are.
Yes.
And so, how is the transition of not being able to go back as much as you like to see your family over there?
I was due to go back the week before. COVID was already spreading out. I think 2019 to 2020. It was really starting to come out, kill a lot of people, let's face it. And I was booking our tickets when everything went into chaos. And if you went there, you're going to have to stay in a hotel for 10 days to prove you hadn't got COVID. Well, I thought, there's no way am I going over there to sit in a hotel for 10 days without seeing all my family. So I waited, and then I haven't managed to get back yet.
Yeah. And so how much of your family's still there?
I have 2 stepdaughters over there with all their children who've grown up and had children. And today I talked to my grandson, who I remember. His mother was 11 when I first met her. My first husband had 2 daughters from his first marriage. And we're on great terms. We love each other. We're in great shape. Today I talked to John, who is an actor and also taught acting in college. And when COVID came out, all the theaters closed. Couldn't go to a theater or a movie or anything. And he had to change his whole life as well. So we have talked a lot about this, and we get on FaceTime or whatever. And I talked to him for an hour and a quarter today about what was going on and finding out what's happening. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
That's great.
Yeah.
A lot of connections still there.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And I have a daughter who lives in Germany. She married a German teacher and has 3 children. And they're all doing very well. And she's doing very well. And she's teaching German two foreigners, mostly Turkish people, who want to know how, because they have moved to Germany, but they don't know the language. So she is starting another career doing languages, for people. It's amazing.
It is
yeah,
amazing.
It is. Yeah.
Well, you must have very smart children.
I'm very proud of them. They're all doing well. Yeah.
So let's go back to 1982, when you become a teacher.
Oh, I was a teacher.
Is that when you moved to the U.S.?
Yeah, I'd been a teacher since 1963. Left college, I had 3 years in college, in university, and then taught different schools. And then in 82, we decided we would move across. My sister had already come across and married over here. So we'd been over here on vacation. And we loved Texas. She was in Austin at the time. And my husband's business was working with, at that point, rich and famous people through designers in their homes. He did specialized finishes. Could make a thing look like it was made of marble or wood or any kind of other surface that you can think of. I've seen him confuse people who looked at something and thought that's real marble, but it wasn't. It was him painting it. And he used goose feathers and all sorts of tricks of the trade.
Yeah.
And he worked through designers. Well, that kind of decoration is expensive. And he came over on vacation, of course, with me and talked to a designer who said, we would love to have somebody over here do that. So we did. We came over in 82 with some work already planned. And we were going through the green card set up at the time with an attorney. And we worked down in River Oaks.
Wow.
To begin with, yeah. And Beverly Hills after that, and all over the country after that. For very famous people in this country. He did work for Madonna. And,
wow.
And I met some of the people, but I didn't meet Madonna because she said to the designer, I don't want anybody else when I meet this artist. I just want him. I don't want anybody else, because she was very protective of her privacy. So he and the designer and Madonna met on a Saturday morning in this house in the Hollywood Hills, which I had been in and helped my husband with some of the work. And it had been owned by a mafia don in the 40s and 50s, believe it or not. Yeah, Bugsy Siegel. You've heard of him?
Yes.
He'd had this house. And then other people had had it after him. I mean, he got shot in Beverly Hills at some point, but anyway. So, when he came back, my husband, from this chat with Madonna, she wanted to see samples of the work that he was going to do. And he'd done scores of different samples, of different colors, shades of different colors, and told her what to expect from each one. He said, and if you put this outside, it's going to be, in 2 years, 10 shades lighter. So be aware of that, because if you want it to be this color in 2 years, it's going to have to be darker now. Told her all sorts of stuff like that. And she was very pleased with him and talked with him most and let him talk to her. So I said, when he came, I said, so what was she like? He said, she wanted me to talk more than her. I said, what was she wearing? He said, well, it looked like it was from a second-hand shop. And I started laughing because it was the grunge look at that time. I said, it probably cost thousands of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
Because they came out looking like, tattered jeans and all that kind of thing.
T-shirt in that area cost you $500.
And she had all this stuff on that cost a fortune, but he didn't understand.
Yeah,
he didn't know. But she was lovely to him. Yeah, he had. I mean, you hear all sorts of stories about famous stars, but mostly when they come to meet somebody that's going to do a job for them, they usually are very interesting and nice and want to know what's going on.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
What an experience.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So what was your first volunteer job? I know that, that you do everything, and we're going to get into that here in just a few minutes. But,
okay.
I just want to know what kind of motivated you to start volunteering to the point that you do so much of it now. So what was one of your first volunteer jobs? Do you remember?
Yes, I think I do. But of course, first of all, we had to set up my husband's business. His name was Temperley. And I helped him on some of his stuff, which I could do. I was an art teacher. So that's how we had met, through art and pottery. And he and I got along well on that, level, of course, and got married eventually. And I helped him out. And then when I got some time later on, the first thing I ever did, there was an organization in Houston which was asking for volunteers to help with the community events. And one of the very first things I remember doing, because we used to meet and decide what we were going to do. And there was a PGA golf thing going on. Clint Eastwood was there.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he was a big golfer at that point. This was in the early 80s. It was only a couple of years or so after we got here. And so there was a group of us all down to the golf course, and I can't even remember, where, but it was a beautiful place. And I'm trying to remember his name, but a famous singer who did a Christmas song. You remember him? King, somebody. Anyway, we had to stand around and just be helpful. But we got to the 18th hole, and up comes this famous guy, and he had a whole lot of golf balls. And he gave us all a golf ball each, and he said, now when Clint comes, all right, when he's finished, he'll get his golf ball and throw it out into the crowd, which is what they always do. And want you to all throw the golf balls back at him, all right? And give him a surprise, okay, as a joke. So up comes Clint with a bodyguard, of course, and look around, there's a whole lot of folk there. He's thinking, I hope this lot don't want autographs or something.
Yeah.
So we all just stood and looked innocent, and he actually did that. He threw his golf ball out, and then we all threw the golf ball back, and he looked so funny. He looked, what the heck, Then he started laughing. Yeah, he thought he saw the joke. It was hilarious. So that was one of my first volunteer things.
Well, I heard he was a great person. And, so well, that's wonderful. So now you're back here and you're on the move. You're volunteering and you got a career going with your husband.
Yeah.
So so let's go on to the next question. What is the most important skill that helped you advance in life? You've done it all, Miss Yvonne. I mean, but there's something that had to stick with you that you were really good at that that helped you advance to where you're at today.
When you're a teacher, you have to learn to communicate with whoever it is.
Oh, wow.
And of course, I wanted to talk to teenagers. That's why I went to high school, teaching in high school. I tried the little ones, and although they're adorable, it wasn't my thing. Yeah. Communication, talking to people, is one of my things that I really enjoy. And listening to them and getting their story. And then the second thing, which grew from all of this, is writing. And I have been writing a weekly column for about 15 years. And it started off writing a column about what was going on in Shepherd for the supermarket here, McLean's. And they just want to know, do something fun. And it had been a beautiful lady called Miss Pat. And
Jennings.
Miss Pat
her.
Jennings.
Yes,
She said to me one day, she and I became very good friends. And she said, this is too much for me. Would you do it? So that's how I started. Yeah. Just for the supermarket, right? So, but I thought, I need to get around and see what's going on. And we had a new business for dry cleaning, and I talked to them, and I wrote them up, and I did all sorts. And gradually, I became a member of the Chamber of Commerce. And then I became the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and I still am. And I'm still doing this article, but I don't know how many years ago it was. I got a phone call from the editor of the San Jacinto News-Times, and she said, Yvonne, would you mind letting us put your column in our paper?
Oh, yeah.
She'd been reading it, of course, and I said, well, yeah, I can send it to you. I mean, I'm writing it.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, after a few years, McLean stopped doing the paper in the same way. And but my column is still going in the News Times.
I read it every week.
Yeah, and it's online, and it's been taken up by other websites and Facebook pages, and we have our own. And so it gets around a bit. So I'm very happy about that, because I want people to know what we have to offer. And when you do something, I mean, I want everybody to know that you're doing an event. Whatever, and you do so many wonderful events, and everybody needs to know about it.
And you do that for everybody.
I do.
You know,
I try
you
to.
have such a compassionate heart, and being in a leadership role like that, and have compassion at the same time, really makes a level that we can get to when most communities cannot. And so, and I'm thankful for that. That you love everybody, and you treat everybody the same, and you don't care what side they're on or what color. I mean, it doesn't matter to you, Yvonne. And I think that's why I'm just, stuck to you and call you my second mom, because I really, because you mean a lot to me and to a lot of people here.
You mean a lot to me, but a lot of people rely upon you and what you do. You are a wonderful, a boon, as it were, to our community.
And, and it's because I got a great team behind me, too.
Yeah, that helps.
A lot of people don't see, all the ones that give behind the scenes. And like Nancy and them over there, and Kristen cleaning the
wonderful people
out. And, it just takes a team effort from a community to make the community thrive like that. So, next question. How has your professional goals evolved over time? Did faith play a big role in that?
Oh, I think so. I've always had the knowledge that there was a spiritual, I'm not quite sure how to describe it, but like a spiritual being around me, if you like. Some people call it a guide, other people call it just God telling you what to do. But there is always that feeling of being connected to something greater than ourselves. And you can reach it through nature.
I've got to stop running it out.
Nature is one of the easiest ways to get in touch with spirit. As you see the beauty of the country, it doesn't matter where you are, the beach, the mountains, the river, wherever it is, and you can tune into that incredible force that is creating it. And plants and birds and animals, and having your pet, and a pet that loves you. Isn't that amazing? Here is an animal that loves you. Why? Because you love it.
And they feel it too. They know.
They know, and they connect with you. And anything that is touched by love is changed. That's how I feel. So, for the better, of course. So, spiritually, yes, it's a very important thing. And I want to see the good in everybody, but of course sometimes it's hard when somebody's cruel or people kill each other, they do terrible things to each other. That kind of thing is hard. But you recognize that they're on the path that they mistakenly took, and it's up to them to get off it. I'm not saying let them get away with it. I'm saying you got to recognize that you took a wrong path.
And just like we're teaching the kids the 10 Commandments on there, there's rules to follow. That Jesus Christ has set out for us. And so, and it was crazy that you said something about having that spiritual inner self. Because Barbara McIntyre's like that too. And we spoke about it on the podcast I did with her. About how she would call me sometimes at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and she'd say, Brenda Myers, I feel you in my spirit today. What's going on? And she just did it last week, and it was crazy. Right before my sunburn, she called me a couple days after that, and she was like, girl, what is going on with you? I feel it. And I was like, well, I'm sunburned, And so, but certain people carry that blessing and intuition, I believe you would say.
And that's how you connect with people. It's like, let me give you a quick example. I'm coming out of the library. Now, for many years, I was the president of the Friends of Shepherd Library. I started off with, there was 2 other people and me. Miss Pat was one of them, and Miss Holloway was another. Miss Holloway went off to live with her family up north, and Miss Pat was going to be leaving town to go to a assisted living, I think. And I thought, we've got to build this up. Well, I've got to tell you, through God helping and people coming and loving the library and finding the perfect woman to be the administrator, Terry McIntyre, fantastic, and people coming to her, that has flourished. And I'm not the president any longer, which is good, because Rick McIntyre is, and he is doing a wonderful job with the bingo that we're doing, which is a charitable thing.
Nice.
And the money is divided out between the people who are renting the building and the people who are doing the actual work. The state gets something, because it's all done through the state. And then the Friends of the Library get something, which is wonderful. So anyway, so I'm coming out of the library and I'm walking with my cane. There's a woman on the other side of the door, right? Now usually everybody's so helpful, they all rush to the door to open it for me, but they were busy at the moment, so she's there and she opened the door for me. And I stepped out and I said, "That is so good of you to do that, because I have a problem getting out of the door." And she said, "Oh, not at all." She said, "I'm new here. I don't know many people anyway, so it's nice to talk to somebody." We started a conversation. I told her she should come to the Chamber of Commerce meetings. She did. She eventually became the secretary to the Chamber of Commerce. Wow. She's not in good health. She's on our prayer list. But that was how we met and what happened with her.
That's how.
Isn't that amazing?
Starts. Yes, ma'am.
That's just somebody opened the door for you, and you connect.
That is the connection.
Yes.
And stuff. And if a community can do that all together, where we live in a small community, it's it can be amazing.
Brenda, I love that we live in a small community, that we can get to know a lot of people, because when you live, and I've lived in the big cities, Houston, LA.
Me too.
I've lived in Austin for a year, and it's hard to get to know people.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
They're all so busy doing their own thing, getting somewhere, because it's so crowded. It takes forever to get anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you just don't connect with people when you're hustle and bustle like that.
Very
in
hard.
Big cities. So how do you maintain balance between your personal life and your professional life? Well, I know you got somebody who carries your purse around for you, and I think Greg looks great in gold. But how do you swing all of that?
Well, sometimes he complains that I spend more time talking to other people than I do to him, but we do have our own times together, which is great. And I introduced him to BritBox. BritBox? Streaming. British mysteries. And British mysteries are totally different from American mysteries, where murder's usually committed with a gun, okay? We're much more inventive in Britain. It can be all sorts of weird stuff.
That's funny.
Poison plants, all sorts of, whatever.
Wow.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So he is learning a different kind of English, and he'll say to me, what is she talking about like this and that?
That is hilarious.
Yeah, we have a lot of laughs. We laugh a lot, yes.
And so, we're going to get to some of the things that you do, but what is one leadership lesson that you've learned that's most relevant today? Because you are a leader of so many different things. So somebody out there is needing to know how to be a good leader. So what is the most relevant thing that you can give to the folks who's listening to us?
Well, first of all, communication. And that's changed a lot over the years with the internet and all that stuff. But as a teacher, I had some great teachers teach me how to teach, believe it or not. And one of the things was, right, you've got a rowdy class. By the time you get to that classroom, they're all yelling and running around doing their thing. What are you going to do? Go in and shout at them? No. You stand in the doorway and you look at them until they calm down and sit down and wait for you. So get control of wherever it is you're going to be. I'm not saying, I'm on the city council. I don't have to do anything to make people listen. We're all there waiting to give our opinion or vote or whatever we do. But if I'm in a group of people and I want to make my point, I'll wait for the moment. I'll try and let them see I'm about to speak, and then I'll do it.
Right.
I don't want to interrupt. I get very irritated when somebody interrupts me, so I know how annoying that is.
Yes.
So I have to, as it were, find the right place to get into to speak, and then speak clearly and with a sense of determination, if you like.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what I believe.
Yeah, and a little authority behind that.
That's right,
too.
yes.
And that's good, Miss Yvonne. Life struggles are real in all of our lives. Can you share a failure that turned into a valuable learning experience during your life? I know we can't always be winners at all times.
No, we can't. Definitely not.
What is that point?
Well, let's see now. of all the many times I've thought it was a failure. One of the things which actually happened to be a relationship where I felt it wasn't working out. I was engaged to be married, and I felt it wasn't working out. And we were away on a vacation with his parents. And I told his mother, I said, we're not agreeing on certain things, which I won't get into.
Right.
But I said, I don't think it's going to work out. I got on the plane to come back to England, and I felt great. I've got to tell you, this is the spiritual thing again. Yeah. It's like God said, thank goodness you learned your lesson. You didn't go ahead and marry the wrong guy. And everything worked out, and I had a new job, which I got out of nowhere. It just came, this fabulous job teaching art and pottery in this lovely school. And within a month, I met the man I was going to marry. So God said, and I call it the cosmic two before, when God says, you're on the wrong path and we're going to have to give you a good bop on the, get you off that path. Well, some people refuse to get off it and make a horrible mistake. But I recognized something coming up. I thought, I've got to get off this path. And it was a failure in one sense, but a win in another. And never take a failure to be a bad thing. Because it can just be the cosmic two before saying, get off that path. It's not for you. And that's what happens with people who take drugs for the first time and say, I'll just see what it's like. It'll be okay. And that's what happens. Yes. They're on a path and they can't get off it. Or something else in the same nature, a negative thing that happens to them. So we have to pay attention. But that's the spiritual side again coming out, which I'm very much into. And
speaking of failure, all the guys that I've ever dated or married and stuff, which is 6 in my entire life.
Wow. 5
of them are passed.
Oh.
And there's one left that I still have, some issues back and from the past. And so, I understand, but each one of them I learned, and I thought they were failures, parts of my life.
Yeah.
But that journey just made me stronger, more determined, more wanting to be single than ever, and so it kept me focused on what God had me to do. And so I get that. That's amazing.
Yes.
Let's see here. Not everyone is our cheerleader, and we know that through our lives. With wisdom behind you, how do you handle criticism?
Well, it depends how it's delivered. If somebody criticizes me with the intention of helping, like, be better if you did it this way, or whatever it is that they're trying to critique me on, I'll take it and listen to it and think, that might be a good idea. But if somebody is just going to be straight out nasty about something and say, you made a right hash of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't take that as being valuable. I don't take that as being helpful. I think if you're going to criticize somebody, you should have some kind of helpful intention in that. Like, you know what, you did a great essay, but your writing is not very good. If you just let me help you with that. Let's do something different, or whatever it is. And that's how I try to be with people. But it's hard. It is hard if somebody just comes straight out and says, you're wrong. That's wrong. The whole thing's wrong. I'm entitled to an opinion.
Exactly.
And I have a sense of my own worth. And I find that is one of the big things in life for everybody. Know your worth.
Yes.
People say, I can't do it, I'm worthless. No, you're not. You were made by Spirit. You were created by the One.
Exactly.
God. And you're not rubbish. You might go around on the wrong path and make yourself, do stupid things, but you're not rubbish. You are a loved being. And that's what we have to remember. So I know that I'm loved, and I know a lot of people love me. I love a lot of people.
Yes, yeah.
So that's how I handle it.
Yes, ma'am.
But I mean, I'm getting on in years. It took some time to get to some of this, yes.
Yeah. Well, I know we've had hundreds of conversations, and just like you said,
Yes.
we critique each other.
Yes.
We throw in some things in the
Yes.
in the pot, and we stir it all around and come up
Yes.
with these great ideas. And
Yes,
so
you do.
it really is important not to hurt people when you are.
That's right. Yes.
It's not really a criticism.
Especially
it's
vulnerable people,
Yes, I agree.
and the young. Because I remember when I was young, and teachers would say nasty things to some of the students. And one said to my sister, who was in the same school, but 3 years younger, of course, and somebody had said to her, one of the teachers, that, I hope you're not going to be stupid like your sister
that
or
sticks
something,
with you, yeah.
And that was totally uncalled for.
Yeah, and that kind of pain like that
Yes.
sticks with you a lifetime
Yes.
if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Tell me some of the amazing things that you're involved in. You've mentioned some here at the verse of our podcast, but like writing the column in the San Jacinto County News Time, Shepherd City Council, you're part of the chambers, the library. What else, Miss Yvonne, do you do? The Women's Club, I mean, come on.
Women's League.
Women's League, yeah.
Miss Pat got me into that. She said, there are not many people from Shepherd are in the Women's League in Cold Spring. Now it's San Jacinto County Women's League. It's the whole county. But it seemed like just people from Cold Spring had gone. And
Right.
she had gone and started being a member, and she got me to go, and I loved them. They're great, wonderful women.
And we were just very, very blessed to get
Yeah.
a donation
That's
from
right.
y'all, this week, actually, and that truly touches my heart.
I'm
when
putting
we're,
the picture in the paper.
yeah, that means a lot. It really does.
What we do is we do events through the year to make money to give away.
Yeah.
And then we give away all these checks and I was lucky to be able to give away like 5 or 6 in Shepherd to the church and the senior center, and various
It's such
others.
an honor. Just to be thought about makes my heart happy.
And they're a great bunch of women. We get along wonderfully well.
great.
Yeah.
A couple more questions and stuff. How much does faith play a role in your everyday life? This is our podcast is Strong Women of Faith. And so I just,
Well, I'm a practitioner, a licensed practitioner in my church, which is the Centers for Spiritual Living. And when COVID hit, we met on Zoom. And then various people moved out of the state, but we're still on Zoom. So it's a wonderful thing because we got people all over the place who all get together on a Sunday morning. And I do every month, there are 4 of us, take 1 week out of the month, and we do the service. I do a talk, I do the meditation, I do the benediction, and we do prayer as well, of course. But that I'm very much into. So that's something, faith has got a big thing within my life, and has helped me through I was a widow twice. And I've got to say, my faith got me through that, because there's nothing worse than suddenly your life partner disappears, just goes away, dies. And my second husband, who brought me here to Shepherd, was an attorney, and when he died, I had 5 or 6 months of having to deal with all of his practice, which was very, very hard. And at that point, I was on the city council then, and I was still dealing with his work.
Yes, ma'am, I remember.
Oh, yeah, it was really tough.
I think that's when I first kind of met you and stuff.
Yeah, I had to, but
Still a
I got
driving
through
force,
it.
Miss Yvonne.
I got through it, and then I met Greg, and 3 years later, we got married. And believe me, that was wonderful. I mean, we laugh a lot. We're both very much into nature. He loves to be outside. He's planted 14 olive trees. You name it, he's out there doing stuff and singing.
That's
he loves to
wonderful.
sing.
Yeah,
yes.
you can tell you're happy, and
Yes.
that's the most important, especially to your friends who love
Yeah.
you, to see you smile. Last question.
Yes.
What part of your legacy would you like to leave for others?
Oh gosh. I think that I loved people. I believe love is the greatest. Well, it's what Jesus said. Love is the greatest power, of course, in all of the universe. He said, love one another and love thy neighbor as thyself. Now, I like that particular phrase because everybody focuses on the neighbor part.
Yeah.
They forget about the yourself part. That's what I say, you're worthy. You're worthy to be loved. if God loves you, who are you to say I'm not lovable?
Exactly. You're right.
So love is a big deal for me, and I hope people have nice memories of me when I go.
think we will.
Thank you.
I've known you for quite a while now, and you're just precious, Miss Yvonne, to this community.
Thank you.
And to everything that you're involved in touches another life. I can remember so many times that I was going through stuff, and just you coming here giving me a hug, or and sharing that with the community. You're sharing your life with this community, and we thank you for that.
Thank you.
And stuff. And so that's all I have. We're just so glad that you came and
Thank
told
you.
your story.
Well, thank you for asking me.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
honored to be.
And so anyway, come back next week. We have
Yes.
another wonderful podcast coming up with Miss Jocelyn from Cold Springs. So we hope to see you next week, and join us again for Breaking the Chains podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we got about 14 door slams coming out of there, and then I had to tell Alyssa, where's she at? I told her to stay in here, and she disappeared out the door again.
I have no idea.
I know. And so, I
She
told her-
left her poem over there, I think, for me
I
to
told her
look at.
stay in here, and then there she goes again, going out in and out. But
I was listening, but I was on.
no, but I hope you don't hear all the door slams and stuff in that. I guess it's not going to matter, huh? You can put a little music in the background or something.
I heard that you're from England, and that you go
She remembers
12th
everything.
grade, and then you go to college, but you have to have a test to see if you can stay. And your sister was 3 years younger, and one of the teachers made a nasty comment saying, "I hope you're not going to be stupid like your sister was." And then I also heard
You going to
that
take a picture of us?
your first engagement didn't work, and a month later.